Hello everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Today I thought we'd do a fun prediction videos for the card prices of Prismatic Evolutions once the set officially released. I normally don't do prediction style videos like this, but I thought this one would be really fun because Prismatic Evolutions has a lot of eyeballs on it. And it's a completely new set with a completely new formula because it has the Pokeball holographic reverse, it has Master Ball holographic reverse, it doesn't have illustration rares. So the pull rates on it could be completely different from what I'm currently expecting, but I thought it'd be fun to do a video like this, and maybe in 4 weeks my pants are on fire because all of my predictions are absolutely wrong, but that's okay too. I think it'll be fun to see where things track based on what my expectations of the set is going to be compared to what it is going to be like in reality. So to predict Prismatic Evolutions, I used prior special sets to see what their pull rates were looking like, which include Shrouded Fable and Paldean Fates, the last two special sets. And it looks like for those special sets, the pull rate for the special illustration rare is right around 1 in 60 booster packs. And I do believe Prismatic Evolution is going to have a very similar pull rate to that, which means if you want to pull yourself a special illustration rare from Prismatic Evolutions, which includes the Umbreon, the Espeon, all of the cool evolutions that everyone wants from Prismatic Evolutions, you're going to be looking to open up 6 Elite Trainer boxes to even have a decent shot of pulling one single special illustration rare. So they are quite rare, but that tracks with the pull rate from Shrouded Fable and Paldean Fates. The one that is going to be weird is going to be the Pokeball and the Master Ball, and I'm going to get into my predictions on the prices on these cards in a little bit. But the pull rates for the Pokeball and the Master Ball is probably going to be 1 in every single 12 booster packs because they took out the illustration rares and replaced them with these Pokeballs and Master Ball holographic reverse. I do think these Pokeball and Master Ball reverses will have the same pull rates as illustration rares. And illustration rares inside of Paldean Fates and Shrouded Fables were right around 1 in every single 12 booster packs. So that's most likely going to be the pull rate for getting one of these cards. And there's going to be a second ratio beneath that, which is your odds of pulling a Master Ball compared to a Pokeball. The odds for pulling a Master Ball card looks to be significantly lower than a Pokeball. I'm going to be optimistic and say 1 in 3 holographic reverse is going to be a Master Ball. It could be lower. It could be as low as 1 in 10, 1 in 6, but I'm going to be generous and say 1 in 3 holographic reverse is going to be a Master Ball. Realistically, it might be as low as 1 in 5 is going to be a Master Ball, which is astronomically low, but completely possible. It's going to be dependent on that ratio, but if that's the case, then the odds of pulling a Master Ball, any Master Ball, could be anywhere between 1 in 36 packs to as high as 1 in 92 to 100 booster packs. So that's really, really low odds. If that's the case, the Master Balls could be extremely rare chase cards in their own rights, which they are as well in Terrestrial Festival. So what that means is that to pull yourself the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare, I predict is going to take 2,000 booster packs. 2,000 booster packs to pull yourself 32 Special Illustration Rares, which is the amount of Special Illustration Rares that are inside of Prismatic Evolutions. And most likely, you're going to get yourself 1 Umbreon Special Illustration Rare after 2,000 booster packs. That means if you're unlucky, you might pull 0 Umbreon, and if you're lucky, you could pull 2 Umbreons, 3 Umbreon, 4 Umbreon Special Illustration Rares from 2,000 packs. Any more than 4, and I think that's ridiculous, you know. Could you pull 5 or 6? You could, but realistically, you're going to pull yourself between 0 to 3 Umbreons with 2,000 booster packs. That brings us to our next prediction, which is the actual prices on these cards. So let's see how well this video does. I'm going to timestamp this video and just see how it looks in 3 months. Let's see how the prices track in 3 months' time, okay? So for me, I think it's going to cost you around $12,000 to purchase 2,000 Prismatic Evolutions booster packs. So that's around $6 a pack. It could be more expensive, you know, if you're willing to go above retail price, significantly above retail price. It could cost you as much as $8 to $10 for a single Prismatic Evolutions pack. But if you're buying a lot of packs, perhaps you could find a better deal and get them for as low as $6 a pack. So let's say you're spending $12,000 to crack open 2,000 Prismatic Evolutions booster pack. I think the Umbreon EX is probably going to be valued at right around $500. That's a lot of money, but it's not as expensive as I think I originally thought. I thought the Umbreon was guaranteed to be more expensive than the Pikachu Special Illustration Rare. But realistically, it's probably going to land right between $800 to $500. I'm going to be more optimistic and say it lands at $500 after the initial wave of optimism. But if there's a very low stock and this set is incredibly hype, it could reach as high as $800 at initial release. But it's going to be up in the air. I am going to be optimistic and say the Umbreon is probably right around $500. And a big reason for that is there's so many other good value cards that you can pull from Prismatic Evolutions, like the other Evolutions. There's a bunch of other Evolutions that really carry the value of this set. I think the other Evolutions will probably be valued at between $100 to $200 if you pull any of these Special Illustration Rare. Remember, you have to crack open 60 booster packs just to pull one Special Illustration Rare, and there's no guarantee that you get yourself the Umbreon, the Eevee, the Espeon, the Vaporeon, any of those cards. You might pull yourself a very weak Special Illustration Rare that no one really wants. So it just depends, but I think the Eevees, all the other Evolutions besides the Umbreon, will probably be valued between $100 to $200. Perhaps one of the more popular ones, like the Espeon EX, might command a slightly higher price, but I think the Umbreon is going to stand out on its own as the undisputed champ of Prismatic Evolutions. How much is the other cheaper Special Illustration Rares going to go for? These are going to be the chump cards, the ones that people don't really care about. And this is going to probably include the worst Special Illustration Rares or the least desirable ones, which is something like the Ogerpon Special Illustration Rares. And there's a bunch of Ogerpon Special Illustration Rares inside of Prismatic Evolutions. I think the pull rate is going to be like 4 of Special Illustration Rares or Ogerpons by themselves. There's just a bunch of them, and no one really wants them because this is Prismatic Evolutions. You want the Eevees, and unfortunately, you have a decent shot of pulling Special Illustration Rares that are less exciting, right? Realistically, 60% of your odds of pulling a Special Illustration Rare, if you pull one, is going to be something you don't like. So that's the crazy thing. Pulling a Special Illustration Rare is hard enough. Pulling one that you like is extra challenging. So these weaker Special Illustration Rares, I think they're going to be valued between $20 to $50. Some of the more popular ones might rise up, but most of them, most of the cheaper ones, most of the less desirable ones could be as low as $20. That means it's going for the same price as 3 Prismatic Evolution booster pack or something of that nature. So really unfortunate, but be careful. Pack opening is never a good value. You have to actually enjoy the experience. You have to enjoy the chase. Otherwise, if you want to pick up any cards, it's usually always better to pick up the singles. So those are going to be the Special Illustration Rare prices. Once we get into the Pokeball Holographic Reverse and the Master Ball Holographic Reverse, I think this is where the predictions get absolutely wild, because we've never had Pokeball or Master Ball Holographic Reverses in the hobby on English before. So these could go all over the place. We don't even know what the texture patterns on these are going to look like, but I have a feeling they're going to look worse than the Japanese texture patterns. I don't know how Japan does it. They just do better texture patterns than the English side, especially for their holographic reverses. If you've ever opened up a special set of Japanese Pokemon cards, you recognize how pretty some of their holographic reverses are compared to English. They just have beautiful work. So I think most of the Pokeball holographic reverses, let's go with the easy one first. Like I said, the odds of pulling Pokeball holographic reverse is 1 in 12 booster packs. 1 in 12 will probably get you some kind of holographic reverse cards, and I'm going to assume that their prices are going to be very similar to illustration rare cards, which means most of the Pokeball holographic reverses are probably going to land between $3 to $10. Most of the cheaper, less exciting Pokeball holographic reverse will probably be right around $3. Someone will still want it though, so there's always some value there. They're not worthless cards, but the more expensive ones are probably going to range around $10, and that's not including the Eevees, by the way. The Eevee holographic reverses are probably going to go for as much as $20 to $30. Once you get into the Master Ball holographic reverse, because I think the pull rates on the Master Ball holographic reverse are harder than the Pokeball ones, I do think they're probably going to have a 3 to 5 times premium over the Pokeball holographic reverse, which means the Master Ball ones are probably going to be valued at around $15 to $30, with some of the Evolutions one going for a lot more. Now we're going to get to the big chase card of this set, which is not going to be the Umbreon Special Illustration Rares. I do think the big chase card, the most expensive one, will probably end up being the Master Ball Umbreon Holographic Reverse, just depending on how rare the pull rate for that card is. But looking at my math, even if you are the most generous possible with the pull rates on the Master Ball Holographic Reverse, you're still looking at around 50 Master Ball Holographic Reverse, 50 to 55 Master Ball Holographic Reverses in 2,000 packs, which is very, very rare, but it's not insanely rare. But with 55 Master Ball Holographic Reverse, you're not guaranteed to pull yourself the Umbreon Master Ball, which means the Umbreon Master Balls is significantly harder to pull than the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare. But here's a little bit of give and take. I do think more people are going to enjoy the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare. Not everyone wants a holographic reverse chase card. It's a cool card and there is demand for it, and part of the demand is how rare the Umbreon Master Ball Holographic Reverse is. However, I think if it was up to me, most people would be more excited to pull themselves the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare. More people in general, right? The Master Ball Holographic Reverse, there will be a market for it, and it's going to command a heavy price premium. But more general public people are going to prefer the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare. Even then, I do think the Master Ball Holographic Reverse of the Umbreon is going to command a significant premium. I'm talking if the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare is $500, then the Master Ball will probably be at around $600. It's going to be more expensive than the Umbreon Special Illustration Rare, but I don't think it's going to command a massive premium, because even though it's significantly more rare, it's not as popular. So there's a little bit of give and take. Significantly slower supply, less supply of the Master Ball Umbreon, but not as crazy of demand, so it kind of evens out a little bit. I do think that if the pull rates are out of whack, like it's incredibly hard to pull the Master Ball Holographic Reverse, it could go for as much as, I don't know, $800 to $1,000. If you're taking, instead of 2,000 booster packs of Prismatic Evolutions, if it takes up to 5,000 booster packs of Prismatic Evolutions to pull one of the Umbreon Master Ball. So it just depends on the pull rates. Like I said, I could land myself in hot waters with these predictions if the pull rates are out of whack, but that's kind of part of the fun too. Let's throw out some predictions out here. So raw copy of the Umbreon Master Ball, I would say $600 is going to be my prediction. For most other Master Balls, I already said my predictions. They will probably land at between $15 to $50. The EV ones, I do think there's a premium on those. They're probably going to land at below the Special Illustration Rares, actually. So that's kind of an interesting take, where most of the Master Balls are rarer than the Special Illustration Rare. I do think that at initial start, they're going to land at below the Special Illustration Rares. They could land at a little bit higher, kind of like the Umbreon too, but give and take, they'll probably be at around $100 to $200 as well. So the Master Ball Umbreon, $600. The other Evolution one, $100 to $200. The least popular Master Balls, $15 to $50. So that's where I expect a lot of these prices to land. Remember, if you're cracking open a Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box, that's 10 booster packs of Prismatic Evolutions. Looking at the odds, you're probably going to pull yourself one Pokeball Master Ball Holographic Reverse, and you're not even likely to pull any of these Special Illustration Rares. You have to crack open 6 Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box to have a decent shot of just pulling one single Special Illustration Rare. And 6 Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box, if you bought them at retail price, that's $300, and you bought them at markup, it can be anywhere between $500 to $600. So you're likely to lose a lot of money cracking open Prismatic Evolution. So remember that. This is, I guess at the end of the day, I guess while this is a Prismatic Evolutions video, the message of this video is buy singles, it's always better value. But you guys, if you've been collecting for a while, you probably already knew that. And this is going to be my general predictions for all the prices on these cards before release. Let's see where these prices land. I'm definitely curious to see where these prices truly land and which one of my predictions come true or not. So let me know what your thoughts are. Am I out of whack for these? Do you guys think the prices are going to be significantly higher on certain cards? I do know there are people that think some of the Master Balls or some of the Special Illustration Rares are going to be way more expensive than even what I predicted, because there are 32 Special Illustration Rares inside of this set, and plenty and plenty of Master Balls. There's so many Master Balls, the odds of you pulling any specific one is quite rare because this set is so large. You never really know if these odds, what is going to be popular, what's going to rise up and down in prices. The market is in a mini mania right now, and there's definitely going to be a little bit of that. If the mini mania continues into Prismatic Evolution, which looks like it is, there's a little bit of a wave right now, and it's kind of cooling down now, but that wave is still around. So if that wave continues into Prismatic Evolutions, I do think some of these higher end prices could definitely stick for a little bit while longer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.